Hi everybody, welcome to another one of my videos where I use exposure response prevention therapy and thought records to help me treat my choking phobia. So basically my choking phobia is I fear choking on food. So the way to kind of deal with this problem is to write your anxiety level before you eat, then eat. And if you're doing it in the beginning, start with soft foods, but eventually work your way up to harder and harder foods. And then, after you do the anxiety, as much as you can, write your anxiety level afterwards. And most of the time, it should go down as long as you are somewhat mindful with the activity, which is called an exposure. And then also, what I do is a thought record. I kind of like write down my thoughts, what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling, sequentially to kind of like make myself more mindful, to dissect my thoughts, to kind of help me understand why do I do the things I do, why do I think the way I think, and what do I believe the way I believe things. So go ahead and do this. And I know if it's for people who get bored that have Netflix playing, there's some Star Trek. So before, my anxiety level before, I'm gonna go with like, I don't know. Yeah, I think, um, like a 5 out of 100. And that's basically because of just me doing it every day. I make videos every day except for the weekend. So I'm gonna do the exposure. So an idea. I'm gonna go outside in my car and eat this. Enjoy the weather. And obviously I'll still document all this. I think that's a really good idea. It's a great day outside. And I think I should reward myself for going out and doing my exposures every day. And honestly, we're just gonna eat a whole bunch of cheese today at an exposure. So this is a great idea to go outside and continue my exposure outside. So stand by, I'm gonna be going outside. This is such a great idea. I just gotta make sure everything is good here. Got my keys. So I'm still doing the exposure. I'll still eat. Try to stay as mindful as I can. I'm just gonna slowly transition to my car. Like, this isn't a response. I want to actually just enjoy the day. couple of minutes here, guys. Just trying to enjoy the weather. Seems like such a nice day today. Why not? It's gonna get cold soon. Alright, here I am in my car, to the AC on. It is hot, even though it's gonna get colder now. It's gonna get colder now in winter. So here we are. I'm gonna do my thought records. Where's my pen? Okay. So, just continuing on with the exposure here.
You take over Ruby and Alex's extreme allowance. That's Patrick Finesca.
Really good.
I wanna be look at you and feel something other than pain. I need shelter, safe haven. I want a quiet place to go and wait out the rain. I want a woman, I want a job. I got it, it's coming, I'll get in trouble again. I wanna wake up and feel love. Will you look me in the eyes, tell me I'm not dying? This begins CD number 17.
He said it is enough to know the blessing of the fast that Allah swears that the Messenger of Allah swore والذي نفسي بيده لخلوق فم الصائم أطيب عند الله من ريح المسك. The foul smell of a faster coming from the mouth of a faster is more pure with Allah than the scent of musk. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says إنما يضر شهوته وطعامه وشرابه لأجلي. He has given up his drink, his food, his drink, and his shahwa, his desire, لأجلي, for Allah's sake. وأنا أجزي الصيام لي وأنا أجزي به. So fasting is mine, and I will give it. And then the صائم فرحتان, فرحة عند إفطاره وفرحة عند لقاء ربه. And then he said, the hadith, which has some weakness in it, but it says, لكل شيء باب, and we went through the أبواب العلم when we covered that section on that. لكل شيء باب وباب العبادة الصوم. Everything has a door, and the door of worship is fasting. And this is another hadith indicate that is that the one who prevents us from worship more than anybody is shaitan, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the Messenger of Allah said, إِنَّ الشَّيْطَانَ لَيَجْرِي فِي ابْنِ آدَمَ مَجْرَى الدَّمِ. That shaitan flows in man with the blood, the flowing of the blood, which is a proof that, for me, is a proof that long before Thomas Hardy was bring up the circulation of blood, the Messenger of Allah knew about circulation of blood, because Majra is a place where something flows. And he said, إِنَّ الشَّيْطَانَ لَيَجْرِي فِي ابْنِ آدَمَ مَجْرَى الدَّمِ. He flows in man in the places the blood flows. So, shaitan gets into the blood, and that's why alcohol and haram food is an easy inroad for shaitan into the heart. And the more pure your food is, the purer you become, guarding your food from shubuhat. So when you fast, because you don't have food in you, you're actually making there's an addition to that hadith, which is mudraj probably from later, not from the Sahaba, but فَضَيِّقُوا عَلَى مَجَارِ الشَّيْطَانِ. Constrict the way the shaitan can flow in you, bil-ju' by hunger. And then another thing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Messenger of Allah, it's a weak hadith, no musa'im ibadah. The sleep of the faster is worship. Because if he's fasting, he's in worship. So it's true, even if the hadith is not strong, the meaning is true. In that if you're fasting, you're worshiping, and sleeping while you're fasting is mubah. So even a sleeper is in ibadah. when he's fasting. So that's something that no other ibadah has. And also إذا دخلوا شهر رمضان فتحت أبواب الجنة وغلقت أبواب النار وصفدت الشياطين ونادى مناد يا باغي الخير هلم يا باغي الشر سر. That when Ramadan comes, the gates of paradise are open, the doors of Jahannam are closed, and the shayateen are locked up. And then a caller calls from the angelic realm, "O seeker of good, come for this month. And O seeker of evil, stop. Don't desist from your evil." Waki', who was the teacher of Imam Shafi'i, said about Allah, "Kulu washrabu hani'an bima aslaftum fil ayyam al-khaliya." The ayyam al-khaliya, the past days, are ayyam al-siyam. So Allah says in paradise, eat and drink because of what you were doing in those previous days in the world when you were fasting. Now, eat and drink, enjoy yourself. So we're giving up here. And obviously, for a person, if you're told, in fact, that was the test they used for emotional intelligence, was to give children like telling them, 2 cookies later or 1 now. And always they found themselves in children who say 2 later. So a sign of aqal is putting off a short-term pleasure for a greater long-term pleasure. That is a sign of intellect. And so that's why Allah says that these people that do this are ulul albab. They're the people of intellect that recognize putting off dunya pleasure for the sake of Allah is intelligence. And then another thing which is really important, which he says is because this is such, you are really defeating the enemy of Allah, which is shaitan.
Finish the exposure. As you guys can tell, I'm not a big talker when I eat. It's either radio on or on Netflix or my CD on. So just to calibrate my anxiety afterwards. Yeah, it's literally like it's almost the same. I'm gonna say it's 5, so it's plateaued. We've reached the point now, viewers, where my anxiety level has plateaued to a point where it's not gonna get any higher or any lower. Within a range. It's like, average body temperature is 98.6, but it's okay if it goes up to 99 some days. If it goes down to, 97 some days, because the average is gonna be plateauing around 98.6. That's kind of where I am now. After about 2 months of sustained cognitive behavioral sustained exposure response prevention, I want to say about 2 weeks of cognitive behavioral therapy, I've begun to realize my anxiety can come down to a manageable level, to a level where I actually cannot be afraid of it, not fear it, look forward to dealing with it at a level that stays static. It doesn't change wildly from 70 one day, some of my earlier videos, it was like 70 one day, 50 another day. Right? Huge swings in the beginning. I don't know why that is. Maybe the beginning is the most important part the most important time to start your anxiety, to start your responses, or you're combating your anxieties. Possibly it. Not sure. Definitely something to look into. I think the foundation. When you lay the foundation of something, you want it to be like good and sturdy and smart, like a basement of a house. And so I think the more you prepare with the beginnings of your exposures and your thought records, your journaling, and your exposures, the better your results will be. Right? It's kind of like results will vary, but if you follow normal psychology, what they say, your results will be pretty standard. They'll vary within like an average standard. if you've noticed in my videos. So now let's go on to my thoughts. Honestly, I felt they're about 80% sequential. It was really hard with some of them. The good thing is you're writing some thoughts down, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna write that down too. And then you forget it when you finish writing the first thought. Or you'd be thinking of like, it's just hard to kind of keep them all down. Because you'd be thinking about writing something, and then you think another thought based on what you wrote. But then you realize, is that a thought that I should be writing, or is that a thought based on what I just wrote? I should rather be just staying with the thoughts while I'm eating and dealing with my choking phobia. So that was something to also keep in mind. So some of these are inaccurate, but 80% accuracy, I'd say. First thought was, why not do this exposure outside, right? The next thought was children playing. Just an image of children outside walking in front of my house, because I live next to a school. And I guess that kind of made me feel uncomfortable. Like, I always feel a bit uncomfortable around children. Like high school children, they seem harmless enough. Just when they get in groups and stuff, especially where I drive, a lot of them cross the street, and it's like you're not supposed to, and the cops don't even say anything. And it makes me nervous because I'm a driver, so I'm driving everywhere. And when these idiots are like crossing the street, not even looking, like literally staring at me, wondering why like I'm looking at them with two heads because they're trying to cross the street with basically jaywalking. And it's weird. Next thought is independent of choking phobia. So, I tried this thought that I want to listen to my CD. It's an Islamic CD featuring Sheikh Hamza Yusuf, a guy I really like to listen to. And then I thought to myself, am I doing this because I fear choking and therefore I shouldn't do it because it's like a response I want to prevent? But then I thought to me, no, this isn't because I fear choking. It's because I literally do want to listen to Hamza Yusuf when I eat. And that's one of the great liberating things about freeing yourself from anxiety. You do things because you want to do them, not because your anxiety tells you to do them. Okay? Before, I would think, I need to listen to Hamza Yusuf. I would never eat outside. I'd listen to like the Quran and eat. But then the thought came to me while I was doing my exposures and my thought records, like, am I really doing this for God? Am I doing this because I want to please God or get closer to God? Or am I doing this because I want to feel some sort of protection, real or imagined, right? But obviously for me, it must be real all the time, right? God is, and I believe that God is protecting us all and sustaining us. I mean, it's just, and there's nothing wrong with doing that. It's just, your intention should be right. You should be doing it because you want to, please God, not because, like, okay, I'm doing this so now God protect me, It's a transactional relationship. It's a low relationship. I believe you can have it with your Lord, with God, but I try to get to at least I try, fall short. But I try to get to those higher relationships with God, where I do it simply because I want to please God, because God is my friend, God is my supporter, God is my ally, He's my helper, He's my wali, He's my mola, He's my teacher, and I want to please Him. I want to please my Lord. And that's one of the great liberating things about freeing yourself from anxiety. That in itself should be reason enough for you to continue doing your anxiety videos if you ever feel not motivated enough. Just seeing yourself breaking free from it and saying, I'm doing this because I want to do it, not because my anxiety wants to do it. Not because I like rules, not because I like routine, not because I like lists, not because I'm hyper-religious, but because I actually want to please God. Okay? Next thought is KISS, which is something my dad used to say always, keep it simple, stupid. And then this thought came to me, it was from a TV scene, I don't remember the TV show, but there was this thought where there was some guy, or some girl, I think, making fun of some guy or something, and the girl said to the guy, you probably can't eat and move your eyes. I'm not sure if that's something people make fun of people, I don't know, but it was a TV scene, and I remember it was an automatic negative thoughts, because I was thinking it, like, I was thinking about the TV scene, and I was thinking about it, I thought that's my voice talking to me. It's odd how anxiety can do that. It can almost like trick you into believing something that you didn't even create, but you just remembered it. Somehow is now hijacking your brain, telling you, no, you are thinking that, you are believing that. It's so odd. So it's good to write them down. Obviously, I don't believe that. I don't care. I've never really given it much sustained thought as to whether I can move my eyes while I eat. I honestly don't care if anybody can move their eyes while they eat. I don't think that's important to life. Like, that's not one of the big criteria in terms of like how a person is good or how they interact with the world. Like, I could care less if you close your eyes and eat. If you're blind, then you eat. If you eat through a straw, as long as you're not anxious, you know, as long as you're not anxious. Next thought is Tan Mom song. Okay, so just Google Tan Mom song. Stupid. You know, I watch a lot of YouTube, so I get a lot of dumb thoughts in my head sometimes, a lot of repetitive, you know, thinking and repetitive, like stupid things you watch again and again on YouTube, and you just get them stuck in your head. So it's just, you know, the Tan Mom. She was like this woman who tanned so much she turned black. She was white and she turned black, and then her kids started becoming to get tanned, and she was on the Howard Stern show with some people, and there she was drunk, and she was talking about how she wanted to do a song or something, so they did this song. It was a song on YouTube. It's just so annoying. I don't know, I listened to it earlier today. Don't ask me why. I just, you know, you're up in the morning early, you know, after a night out, kind of up late, and you just don't even want to sleep. You got like 3-4 hours of sleep. You're like, all right, I'm up again, so whatever's on YouTube I'll watch, just to kind of, you know, while I'm just bored, thinking of what I'm going to eat, basically, to do my video for. Next song is John Fish. Highly recommend him on YouTube. He's a motivational kind of like, he goes to Harvard. He has a 4.0 GPA. He talks about study skills. He talks about his routine and how he's made a growth book, for example. So that's why I wrote down John Fish and Harvard. Next thought is, okay. This is an example of me, you could say, thinking too much. A neighbor put a sign of the conservatives, right? Before she did that, and I don't even know if it's a she, I'm just saying she's a she. When we first moved here, I parked in a place that was kind of like, you know, you can get away with it, but you can't. It's technically illegal, but it's like up to the discretion of whoever was living there. And I guess whoever lived there didn't like it, so they didn't call the cops, thank God, or anything, but they put a note on my window and said, you know, please don't park in front of our driveway, you know, park safe type of thing. And I'm like, oh, okay. And it just gave me a bad feeling. And I always had a feeling it's this house over here. So election time is here in Canada, and she puts up a conservative sign. I'm like, boo, I hate the conservatives, I hate them all, I hate Scheer, I hate Harper, I hate all these Trump tards. So I called up I went on the website of the Liberal Party, and I asked for a Liberal sign. So I put a Liberal sign up just across from her house. And that's what I was thinking about. Just, you know, how, you know, she's a conservative, I'm a Liberal. And the next thought I put was sugar daddies. I'll just leave it at that. I don't really want to get into that too much. Maybe in other videos I can talk about that, but as of now, let's just leave it at sugar daddies. Next on us, it's hard to write your thoughts while you eat. See, this is what I was doing. I was writing my thoughts and I was forgetting things, right? And then I was writing them again. See, half of it was on the other page because I had to write like, oh, from here, go to there. It's really hard to even get the pages right, you know, let alone them in sequential order. And so that's what I was writing down. Next thought is, people watching, right? While I was eating, I was thinking people are going to watch me. There was some car, you know, when I was coming, and I thought they're going to, you know, they're watching me, you know. And then I thought, I don't care. I really, you know, want to highlight that. Yeah, really good. In terms of like, I don't care, you know, if I'm going to eat. It's just like a symptom of social anxiety. Classic symptom of social anxiety is if you're like, for example, going to a food court. If you were to go to a food court, you have social anxiety, you wouldn't want to eat there. For me, you know, if I was to go to a food court, I would just be like, first of all, there'd be the whole choking thing I'd have to deal with. I couldn't be relaxed. And my social phobia would prevent me from being relaxed when I'm with people. And it's very, very important to be relaxed. If you noticed before, I talked to you guys about the breathing techniques through your nose, diaphragmatic breathing through your diaphragm, and belly breathing, and just being mindful and conscious, and describing what you're doing, and just thinking what you're doing. You know, getting control of your thoughts. And that's very hard to do with someone who has social anxiety in a social setting like a food court. So that would prevent me from eating outside, but I did today because I was in my car. I was relatively still in my house. I'm in my car, you know. I'm not in a food court with people I don't know. I'm in a controlled environment where if it's too anxious, I can leave, you know, or even, you know, random things like that. So next thought is, okay, yep, this guy's going to see me eating, symptoms of social anxiety. And then, was that a bus? Or was that a bug? Yeah, I heard something. I think it was my paper rustling, but it sounded like a bug in my car. So I was thinking, was that a bug? Next thought, I forgot. So it's obviously a thought I was having difficulty remembering. I didn't remember it, so I just wrote I forgot because that's what I was thinking, right? Next thought is when the when the books come, when the books come, the food is put aside. Rough paraphrase. See, Hamza Yusuf was talking about a hadith, the Prophet ﷺ, and about Islam and purification of the heart and prohibition of the tongue of stiffness nature, weighty stuff. I remember one time he was speaking about how when he was learning and how he was taught was that when the food came in his majlis, in his gathering of people who he was around and learning from, when the food came, the learning would stop. They would stop talking about the Islam. They would eat their food. But then once for example, if they were learning, they wouldn't bring the food in. So once the food comes in, it's like stop learning about Islam, focus on your eating, nourish yourself, have an intention to eat and for getting stronger and doing more prayers and getting closer to God. And then once the food is done, you thank God and you move on to your learning, right? And that's what I was thinking while listening to Hamza Yusuf on the CD there. Next thought is stay with it, like my motto, right? Next thing I want to say real quick is I didn't really have a thought about I'm gonna choke. I didn't write that down in this thought today, which I think is awesome. To actually have a thought record, it's been, I don't remember, like I've been doing thought records for like 2 weeks, and almost every time I've had once to twice average thoughts like I'm gonna choke, the pencil lead is gonna get on my food, I'm gonna choke, that piece of Kleenex is gonna get on my food, I'm gonna choke, that cheese looks like Kleenex, I'm gonna eat it, I'm gonna choke, different permutations of this choking. Today, thank God, I didn't get that thought. It's almost like I've learned to kind of just kill it and just ignore it. It doesn't even get to the surface to the point I'm actually thinking about it and writing it down. So that's a great motivation to also stay with your anxiety. Next thought is Allahu. It's just, I don't know, just write that down. Next thought is trying to understand. I guess I was trying to understand something, I'm not sure. Next thought is I'm going to have one more. I'm talking about a bite of the bread and cheese. And the next thought was sure, and the next thought was the next thought was sure, and then I wrote not sure because I wasn't sure if that thought was what I was really thinking. Okay? Next thought is just eat the rest, right? Next thought is God lied to me. Then I wrote down in a arrow, don't believe it. All right? I don't believe that. It's just a thought. It comes in my mind sometimes, like I'm choking or whatever, right? Next thought. These thought records are like hadith records. Yeah, I sometimes think that because I've said like I grade them in Islam. We grade hadiths based on how authentic they are. Like it's 99% authentic, 80% authentic. Same thing with this. That's what I'm doing in my thought records. So I just I'm bringing in my OCPD to like a constructive, where I'm actually doing a constructive kind of Islam type of thinking, where I'm using my Islam to be constructive and not to just be rigid and rule making and list making and task making and ending up where you just don't really do it because you feel like doing it. I mean, you don't really do it because you want to. You do it because your anxiety is telling you to. And you should really, there are going to be days where you're not going to do it, like you're going to not feel like doing it, and you need to work on those days. But that's separate from doing things and even more things simply because your anxiety is doing it. Because you got to understand, you got to deal with your anxiety. You got to deal with that, or else you will not be able to live a true healthy life, an authentic life, a life of happiness, a life of I would say just happiness, of less fear, of being able to be happy. So it's hard work, but it's doable. It's not like impossible. You see me do these videos. I've been doing them for about 2 months now. You see me doing them. It's hard, but you put the effort in and you get the reward. That's like the moral of life. If you do the hard things in life, your life will become easy. Les Brown said that. Next thought, I'm smart. Next thought, like thinking, me coming to a revelation. Yeah, I was just thinking about how far I am from my Lord sometimes. Allah, and I can get so much closer. So basically, those are all the thoughts. Those are my exposure. What I'm gonna do now is just smoke a joint because I don't know, just share my experience of smoking weed with you guys for a little bit. Then my plan is to get an oil change, probably at Mr. Lube, probably in Mississauga. I got a really good experience with one of the guys in Mississauga one time. It was really nice. So I'll get that done. Maybe I'll go to my friend's place and get it done. But and then after that, I just have to take a shower and everything, change my clothes. After that, I'm going to go to work. I get to 11:30. I work at 2:15. So I'm gonna be cutting it close, but hopefully it'll be okay. That's basically what my plans are for the rest of the day. So just sit back and enjoy. I'll just put some music on while I smoke this joint. I might comment about the joint, like how I feel in terms of like, it's just a sativa joint. It's like mid-grade THC. So I've been working my way up from low-grade THC to mid-grade. I still prefer low-grade. It's not like mid-grade's horrible. I smoke it from time to time, but I prefer low-grade. It's just sometimes you get bored of the low-grade because you've been smoking it so much while you've been just day-to-day. You want something to just take you a little higher. So that's that. This is called Tweed Houndstooth. I think I have the thing it comes in when you go to the store. They basically give you this. See, it says Tweed Houndstooth, 18% or 16% THC, sativa, 1 pre-rolled cannabis joint. All right. Warning. Well, the warning. They have warnings just like in cigarettes. They have warnings now. Like with our cigarettes here in Canada, you see our cigarettes have warnings like tobacco smokes causes. You know, what is that? Tobacco smoke hurts everyone. Have these same warning here. These warnings here in yellow. That say, for example, in English and French, say, for example, cannabis smoke is harmful. Harmful chemicals found in tobacco smoke are also found in cannabis smoke. So basically, they're telling you it's best if you vaporize the cigarettes or if you have a gel or a capsule or an edible, because smoking it is like the most unhealthy way of consuming cannabis. So this is that. Honestly, I'm gonna end the video here. I don't really want to broadcast me getting high. Like, what am I gonna really talk about? I guess a question I could meditate on and talk about is anxiety common? And that's a question I think that a lot of people maybe have a misunderstanding about in terms of what anxiety is, and in terms of, for example, if you have anxiety, does that make you weak? And the answer is no. Because I've always looked at it like this. For example, if you've had a broken arm, does that make you weak? If you're an ice hockey player getting paid $9 million a year, and you block a puck going 80 miles an hour with your arm, and your arm breaks, you have three weeks in the shoulder. You're still practicing with the team. You're probably just, doing no contact practices for a couple weeks, and you're getting your way back into it, and then you're back on the ice. During that time, when you broke your arm, were you weak? No. And anxiety is simply a mental injury instead of a physical injury. You just can't see it, but it's there. It's so common. Just because you look at a person and say, oh, how could they not have anxiety? Everyone has anxiety. It is so common. I've heard statistics saying it's like 1 in 8 people have had it, have been diagnosed with it, are taking medication. These aren't things to be ashamed of. People get ashamed of them for societal stigma. We need to break that stigma. There's nothing wrong with feeling sick, feeling depressed, as much as there's anything wrong with having a headache or a broken leg. So we need to just clarify that, increase the visibility of that, definitely. Yeah. I really have nothing else to say. Remember, guys, stay with it.